So today we're going to draw a Jenga game together. Tomorrow we're actually going to play some Jenga and then remove some pieces and then stop. We don't have to see who wins or not. And we will then draw the missing pieces. So today we're drawing all the pieces set up like you're ready to play. We're going to do a lot of measuring. So you're going to have to use your ruler. First thing you need to think about today is that your ruler does not, the edge of your ruler does not start where the 1 inch starts. So you can see the 0, which is this line right here, is actually where you start your measurements. And then from 0 to 1 is your inch. So the first measurement we're going to make is from the bottom of your paper from 0 to 5. So you're going to make a mark 5 inches up. And then you're going to do the same on the other side, 5 inches up. So start at the 0 and mark 5 inches. Once you have 2 marks, then you're going to draw your line. We're creating a lot of lines that we will erase today, so please be sure to draw lightly. I will draw hard for the sake of the video so you can see from far away. But you can see now we've got our horizon line. Also, now we officially have our 2-point perspective. So you can see the mark that we made on the left of the paper is our first point of perspective, and the mark that we made on the right of our paper is our second point of perspective. And now we'll use those 2 points to really determine everything in this drawing. Now, the next measurement you need to make is across the bottom. So you're going to measure from left to right, starting on the 0 on the left. You're going to measure 4.5. So halfway is 4.5. And then you're going to do the same at the top. To find the middle of a paper, you don't just make one mark, you make a mark on top to bottom or left to right. So 4.5 across, you're finding a middle mark. Once you have your 2 lines, top and bottom, then you connect them, drawing lightly. This line is for you and not for everybody, but my line is for everybody, so I'm drawing dark. We are going to make a few more measurements. So you're going to mark the bottom of the Jenga game right here, which is only 2 inches from the bottom. So start at the 0 and make a mark at 2. Then you are going to place your 0 on that mark, and every inch make a mark all the way up. These are going to be our Jenga pieces. So we're going to go at the 1 inch, the 2 inch, the 3 inch, the 4 inch, 5, 6, 7, 8. You're going to stop at 8. You're going to have 8 pieces all the way up. And now we have the top part of our Jenga game. Basically have a map that tells us where this game is going to go on the paper. 4 marks on your paper, 1, 2, 3, 4. You're going to connect them. So we've got the top and the bottom of our Jenga game, but we really don't have the sides. The sides are going to be parallel, as we talked about yesterday. Parallel means 2 lines that never cross. It's going to be parallel to the edge of your paper. So basically we have to measure that. So from the center line, we want the width of the Jenga game to be 2 inches. So you are going to start with the 0 in the middle, and you're going to go 2 inches away from the middle, and that's going to be where the edge of my game ends. If you want, you can draw another 2-inch line away from the bottom. That way you can know where to line up your ruler like this, or you can just kind of eyeball it and see if it matches the edge of your paper. You're going to do the same exact thing to the other side. So I like to start at the 2 if I'm going backwards. I put the middle line on the 2, and then I mark where the 0 is on my ruler. I'm going to do an anchor line, which means a place to line up my ruler. So I create 2 marks. That way my ruler is not going like sideways or slanted. I know this line will be parallel to the edge. So you can see what we're going to end up erasing, and let's go ahead and do that now. This line and this line right here is not part of the Jenga game. It is literally just part of your 2-point perspective. So have a eraser handy. This marks the first of many erasing times that we will have for this project. Another line that you can now erase, think about it. What line in this Jenga game do we no longer need? We need the horizon that goes through the Jenga game. We definitely need the horizon out here. We do not need the horizon line inside. So let's get rid of that. So basically, if you look at my finished one, my horizon will be here, but not inside here. So if you look at our Jenga game, our point of view is we're basically sitting at a table and it's right in front of us. This part up here is a little taller. We're kind of looking up at it. And this part we're looking kind of straight on. Basically, all of these marks in the middle of your Jenga game will line up with each side of your points of perspective. So you're going to draw lines on the right that match up with your right perspective point. You're going to draw your lines on the left that match up with your left perspective point. So using this 2-point perspective, use your points. So match the point with your mark. And you just slide your ruler down. So there is the right side of my Jenga. And then you're going to do the left. The last step of this process of building our Jenga game will be putting in the pieces for the pattern. Notice that these pieces are all vertical, but they don't go all the way through. It's almost like bricks, but not really, because you'll have a piece in between that has nothing. So if you look at these pieces are parallel to the edge and to the center. So you basically have 3 important vertical lines that follow all the way through, and then you're going to have several vertical lines that break up, are not continuous. I'm going to create a very pale line to kind of divide this bottom one into 3 pieces. So I want to try to make it as even as possible. You just kind of eyeball it. That looks about right. Once you get your mark, then watch this. You are going to make sure that your ruler is pretty even all the way up. If you go like this, notice there it's not even. Even this, it's slightly bigger at the top and smaller at the bottom. So try to get it as vertical as you can and as parallel to the edge. And watch, I'm going to draw my line here, but then I'm going to skip one. Here, skip one. Here, skip one. Here, and then I skip the last one. Then I'm going to go over to my next line that I've kind of eyeballed and estimated the width of these 3 pieces being equal. And I'm going to do the same exact pattern. And then I stop. So now my right side is complete for my game pieces. The left side is going to be the opposite. So I'm going to not create pieces on the bottom left, because the right bottom piece has 3 pieces, so the left bottom piece will have 0 pieces. It's just one continuous. So I'm going to start on the second one up here, and I'm going to kind of estimate where I think the 3 pieces will be equally divided. That looks about good. That looks about right. And I'm going to then line up my ruler as parallel to this center line as possible. And I'm going to do every other piece ending on the top one this time, because the one on the right did not end on the top. And then I'm going to add my last and final pieces on the end that match the same pattern. And now my Jenga game is finished. This is a great time to clean up any kind of marks that you don't need. And for the remainder of class today, you are going to begin some shading. We can't do a lot of shading because we haven't played our game to determine which pieces will be missing, and those will create the most shadows. And if you think about it like this, I've had some shadows there and here, but we'll do all that tomorrow. But look what you can do today. You're gonna pick a side, it doesn't matter. One side will be your light source. So my light source on this particular piece is on the left. So then your shadow will be on the opposite side, the right. If you choose to make your light source on the right, then your shadow will be on the left. So today I'm going to go with a left shadow. And what you do is shadows do not go larger than the piece or smaller than the piece. So I'm going to start right here, and I'm going to create a shadow that goes off very lightly. And they can get stretched and get bigger as they go away, but they always start the same width. And then you're going to use probably a 2 or 4B pencil, and you're going to start off really, really dark and fade, just like we've been learning with our shading skills. And then you're going to go from the dark to medium to light, and you won't have any white. So this will have 3 values at least: dark, medium. The best thing to do is to hold your pencil sideways, put your pointer on top, and you can apply the graphite from your pencil sideways, and it actually covers more area because the pencil is so small, and when you're trying to shade something so large, it takes forever. And the best way to do that is to widen the width of your graphite, and the best way to do that is to hold it sideways. And then you can use your blending tool to blend all that out and help with the fade. If we want, if you have time, one last shadow. This whole side of the Jenga piece will have a shadow as well. You start on, this side will be white. So whatever side is your shadow, the Jenga will have shadow too. I start off really dark on this corner, and then I fade backwards. Now this will be just a medium gray. You'll not do dark on the Jenga piece. It's just enough to make the whatever side your shadow is on stand out differently than the side that is not the shadow. It'll make it pop.